And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Starting off here with a look at the hazardous weather graphic. We've got a blizzard warning out for tonight and tomorrow, through tomorrow, for St. Lawrence Island, the Bering Strait coast here, western Seward Peninsula. For snow, blowing snow, maybe 3 to 4 inches accumulation. Some areas will be blowing around so much you won't really be able to tell, but that'll reduce visibilities to less than a quarter mile at times, as winds could gust as high as 70 miles an hour. And also a blizzard warning here for the eastern Beaufort Sea coast, up there for Kaktovik and those areas. And that's out for tonight and tomorrow as well, for winds gusting to 55 miles per hour from the west. And of course, that'll create blowing snow conditions, resulting in possible whiteout conditions up there. And then here, a wind advisory for the portion of the eastern Alaska range there for possible winds gusting as high as 65 miles an hour from the south. And winter weather advisories here for the Yukon Delta and southern and eastern Seward Peninsula, Norton Sound areas for snow and blowing snow there, gusting winds to 45 miles an hour, reducing visibilities down to maybe a half mile at times. From there, taking a look at the satellite imagery, got moisture with a low pressure area here just southeast of Kodiak Island, bringing clouds and rain into the southwest interior, with this moisture streaming northward with rain all the way up to Anvik, and then mostly snow here back to the west, northward there to the western Arctic coast. Pretty nice day there along and north of the Alaska Range, actually down into the Copper River Basin. All the eastern interior not too bad, with temperatures on the mild side. And this band of clouds starting to bring some more rain into the North Gulf Coast, down across the southeast coast. There's some variable clouds there. And a lot of shower activity out here over the Aleutians. You can see a weakening front right through this area associated with that band of clouds there, kind of really breaking apart here as the frame goes on. But a lot of colder air and snow showers back to the west. Forecast for tonight here, low pressure south of the western Aleutians. Pretty cold northeast winds here with snow and snow showers for Shemya and Attu, but kind of a mixed precipitation with much lighter winds and across Adak and Atkin. In fact, winds pretty light here across the eastern Aleutians, picking up a little bit here with this low in Bristol Bay. And another front will bring another round of rain into Kodiak Island. Southeast winds here pretty brisk for the Barren Islands, maybe into southern Cook Inlet, more of an east-southeast direction there to northeast for northern Cook Inlet. And then trough here keeps it wet for the southern and Kenai Peninsula up into western Prince William Sound. Dry central and eastern interior, but areas of snow and blowing snow along this trough, along the trough there over the west coast areas. And right on down to just about the Pribilof Islands, seeing some snow and blowing snow there. A little bit colder temperatures, but the winds are much lighter there, as you can see, with a lot slacker gradient than the areas up here to the north. And for the southeast coast, mostly dry conditions with variably to mostly cloudy skies. Most of the rain with this trough will stay down over the Queen Charlottes, but some of that could work its way into western Dixon Entrance. And for tomorrow, let's see, this front lifts northeastward here, and we still have a trough with some leftover moisture along the North Gulf Coast there, where you can see drying out, high pressure building here along the British Columbia coast, drying it out over the southern areas, better chances of some showers as you head northwestward there into the northern areas, and stays wet for the North Gulf Coast. And again, a day much like today for south central Alaska, southern Alaska, up to the north here. Nice conditions with some areas of clearing once again for the central and northern interior, all the way out to the Arctic coast. And a band of snow here continues along the western Arctic coast, down across the far western Brooks Range, but snow and blowing snow, blizzard conditions here for the St. Lawrence Island area, again up to the Bering Strait, very tight gradient there supporting those winds. It could gust as high as 70 miles per hour there. Windy, cold conditions down across the west central Bering Sea, all the way into about Adak westward there. And scattered rain and snow showers with much lighter winds and milder temperatures here from about Atka Island up in toward the Alaska Peninsula, and a lot just barely getting into any shower activity there for the peninsula. And looking ahead to Thursday, low pressure here right along the southwest coast, areas of snow with that all the way down into Togiak Bay, possibly Dillingham, but not too bad for Bristol Bay there. And still looking at some snow and blowing snow for St. Lawrence Island area, but a lot less in the way of that condition up along the northwest coast. Low pressure in the central interior, areas of light snow and snow showers here from Kotzebue, Selawik, across the Kobuk Valley in toward the Koyukuk Valley, through the central interior, and possibly down to the Alaska Range here. With mostly snow in the morning hours, could mix with rain in the afternoon hours. Temperatures warm a little bit there. Not too bad down here over south central Alaska and northeast Bristol Bay. And for the North Gulf Coast, shower activity, a little bit drier, but still not drying out completely. And it looks like a pretty good chance of some moisture there for the southeast coast. And for Thursday, we'll see this low here tracks northward, approaching southern Prince William Sound late in the afternoon. Another front here bringing gusty winds and rain, and seeing a little bit better chance of some moisture now into northern Cook Inlet area, and especially the Matanuska Valley, and to a lesser extent the Susitna Valley, but definitely a good shot of rain coming into the North Gulf Coast and the Panhandle with that front. Scattered snow showers, or widely scattered isolated snow showers in the central interior, and a trough up here will produce some areas of light snow for the western Brooks Range on out toward the western Arctic coast. But a big improvement here for the northern Bering Sea, especially St. Lawrence Island and the Seward Peninsula. Winds much lighter, dry conditions there. Northwest winds, north-northwesterlies, keep some cold air coming down to the Alaska Peninsula, some snow showers there. And out to the west, a much stronger system making it onto the chart there with good gale force winds here coming into the central Aleutians with another round of rain. And for the lows tonight, mid-teens in the Copper River Basin, 20s and 30s south central Alaska, 30s for Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay area, and in the 30s to near 40 for the southeast coast. Highs in the 40s for the North Gulf Coast and the southeast coast there, as well as south central Alaska, lower to mid 40s, lower 40s Kodiak Island, highs into the upper 30s for the Copper River Basin, and 35 to 40 there for Bristol Bay. Followed by lows on Thursday morning, lower 20s for the Copper River Basin, and 30 to 35 here, south central Alaska. Bristol Bay, upper 20s, near freezing for Kodiak Island, and 30s to lower 40s for the southeast coast. That'll be followed by highs in the 40s for the Panhandle as well as Yakutat, close to 40 there at Gulkana and Glen Ellen, and right around 40 here for south central Alaska, down to Kodiak Island, and upper 30s to near 40 for Bristol Bay. Up to the north, lows tonight above zero here everywhere, even the Arctic coast, low below zero back here to the west, Chukchi Sea area, anywhere from 3 below to maybe 8 below there at Shishmaref, 15 though for Nome, and lows in the teens and lower 20s in the central interior. Highs tomorrow, Fairbanks, 42, the forecast high there, as well as at Eagle. Otherwise cooling into the 20s for the Brooks Range and teens for the Arctic coast and North Slope. Followed by lows for Thursday morning, shade below zero for St. Lawrence Island and portions of the Seward Peninsula to the Point Hope Cape Lisburne area. Otherwise around 5 to 10 or so, or 0 to 10 for the Arctic coast North Slope. Teens and 20s in the Brooks Range. 20s through the central interior, followed by highs in the 30s here, the central part of the state. Teens for the Arctic coast, and 0 to 10 for the Bering Strait and the Seward Peninsula, except lower 20s for Nome. Pribilofs lows tonight, mid-20s and 30s, lower 30s, lower to mid-30s for the Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula. Highs tomorrow, upper 30s for the Peninsula, Eastern Aleutians, mid-30s here, Adak and Atka, down to 32 for the high for Shimia. About the same for the Pribilofs, lower 30s for the southwest coast. 20s for the southwest coast for the lows on Thursday morning, mid-20s for the Pribilofs, and upper 20s here for the western central Aleutians, lower 30s to the Alaska Peninsula and the Fox Islands, and then the highs in the 30s just about everywhere here, near 30 for the Pribilofs, with the southwest coast upper 20s to near 30.